Hello there everybody, this is Alex from Hardcorian Guides, bringing you my guide for Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 on Master Ninja difficulty. Today we're doing Chapter 9, The Flying Fortress Daedalus. This is another one of my actual personal favorite chapters, mainly because it's short, it's sweet, and it has pretty fun boss fight, except for the main boss fight. So fair warning for those that are not familiar with this level. There's two boss fights at the end. You fight Genshin and then you fight the giant armadillo magma boss. So real quick, for this part, you can actually use this cover to your advantage to kind of like see through it. It doesn't matter if the bow locks on or not. You can still do damage to these things. There's only 6. There's like 2 on the front, 2 on the right, and 2 on the left. But yeah, you can use the cover for the most part to get some nice damage on. After that, Sonya, I think it was, it's either Sonya or Rachel, shows up and, you know, blasts the place down. So come over here behind this wall, charge up a red UT with your newly equipped scythe, which this is actually the chapter I'm going to be using the scythe a lot more in. So for those that actually like to see scythe gameplay, well, you're in luck because I'm actually doing some scythe gameplay. We're up to the marketplace. We can now finally upgrade a new weapon, and the first pick of today is, of course, the Eclipse Scythe. Yes, we just got it. Yes, this is the first chapter we can really technically use it in, but I'm going to upgrade it anyway because I want that extra damage, baby. If you've got the money to spend on whatever, just buy whatever. Don't worry about buying talismans just yet, or at all. I'd say, like, especially like in beginning chapters, just don't worry about buying talismans. They're too expensive. If you really need one that bad, I'd say just do it whenever you're having, you know, that much trouble. If you have the money for it, then yeah, absolutely. But if you don't, just save it for like before the boss fight itself. Which, luckily, most of the time, there's always a marketplace before a boss fight, so that way you can kind of, you know, prepare yourself for whatever's about to come. But I usually don't buy them in the beginning of chapters just because of the potential chance that I may get fudged over. Also, there was a Jewel of the Demon Seal there, so we can finally upgrade another Nympho. I think I don't know if I have upgraded the Inferno fully just yet. But either way, yeah, we can finally upgrade another one. And just waste these guys. Do it however you wish. These are like newly... No, we've seen these before, haven't we? Yeah, I could have sworn we fought these guys before. I think they're still... I think they're not like actually a part of the Ninja Spider Clan. I think they're... What the hell are they called? Ah, fudge. Well, anyway, they're basically just army guys that... They're just some type of militia guys. Nothing... there's hardly much of a difference besides the fact that they have guns. Compared to... Yeah, we fought them before, yeah. It was like an earlier chapter. There's not really much of a difference between them and the Spider Clan guys, besides especially like the white ones, because they take about the same amount of damage, but they just have guns, and they have this, you know, annoying cartwheel thing they do. There's also like the red version of them too, which is just not even that tough at all. Like, they're pretty much just like a somewhat more different variety. There's nothing inherently special about them, particularly. They might do like different combos and stuff, but for the most part, they kind of take about the same damage, and they do about the same damage, so it doesn't really matter with them. But we fought them before, so no biggie. Alright, coming up next is going to be that door in the front that you see there. There's actually a Life of the Gods to the left that we're going to go get. But first, open this door, come back here to the right or left, doesn't matter. Your choice, your pick. And launch a red UT with the Eclipse Scythe, and it just decimates these guys. That's why I recommend going with the Eclipse Scythe for this chapter particularly, is because you can at least have that range shot on it. And it's actually pretty good for this, you know, these beginning parts of it, and also good for the main boss of this chapter as well, which we'll get to eventually, which is the Armadillo, which is everyone's practically least favorite enemy. Which is funny, because, like, I guess, yeah, I saw them in the original second game. They actually have a fight. We get to fight 2 of them at once, and that just sounds brutal. That sounds like completely unfair. So, yep, these guys right here, they're nothing special because, you know, you charge up your red UT, whatever, you know, UT you're charging, launch it on them, and you just wipe the floor with them. I mean, yeah, they don't die with that red UT because they're a little bit more tankier than the other guys, which makes sense, but usually a red UT is just enough to get a DLM, and that's what we're going for. We're going for that OT, so, yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't obvious, Scythe is actually one of my favorite weapons of... Well, just in general, I like Scythes. I think they're kind of cool. I was only charging up because, well, I wanted to destroy this faster, but I didn't realize that it didn't really matter. And I actually, when I died here the first time, I actually got jumped by some guys. Because, like, at first, like, nobody spawned. But then all of a sudden I got jumped. Yeah, but these guys, actually. They spawned, like, when I was inside that room. It was weird. But, yeah, for these, dinosaur-looking bastards, these winged dinosaur guys, being close with the Eclipse Scythe is what can essentially get you more damage. But either way, you still want to go for that D1. But yeah, this weapon's just nice. It's beautiful. And again, I mentioned before, but I remember seeing the trailers for the original, for this game coming out, the original version of it, and I was pretty damn stoked. I was like, oh wow, this game looks so fucking cool. Like, that scythe just looks awesome. And I think they were showing up the Lycan place, if I'm not mistaken, which is funny because, like, you don't get the scythe until, like, after that chapter anyway. I don't know, it's just one of those, you know, funny things. They're just showing off cool gameplay stuff. And like, hey, look at this. We have this thing now. At the time, I was kind of, you know, a God of War head, so I was already used to hack and slashes, but I didn't play that much. It was mostly just like God of War, and at the time, like DMC4, and that was my first real, you know, real DMC game. I knew about the other three because obviously, but it's just that I had only, you know, bought the one for well, PS3 at the time, and I'm very stupid because I remember beating that game quite a bit, and I kind of liked it, but I also just really didn't because it wasn't very God of War-ish because I was fucking stupid. And then I actually sold my PS3 copy, the vanilla copy of DMC4. I have a vanilla copy nowadays. I actually have two of them because I had the Capcom Essentials collection thing, and I also have just an actual regular-ass copy of it. So just because I felt bad, I was like, I'm just gonna buy it again. But yeah, I remember like buying it at GameStop a while back, the original vanilla one. And yeah, I sold it because it didn't have like trophies. Like how fucking petty is that, right? I know. It's very petty. It had in-game achievements, but didn't have trophies for us, which is funny because I don't even know if the Xbox might have actually had achievements. I don't know. But yeah, funny enough, DMC4 was actually one of the games that I remember actually thinking the Xbox looked cool at the time. I mean, my friend had an Xbox, so I played it that way, but for some reason, I always enjoyed the buttons of the Xbox. I always thought they looked kind of nice. And I remember watching videos of DMC4 on the Xbox. I was like, wow, this game actually looks kind of nice with the Xbox. Not there's like much of a difference. It's just like you do different... They're just different colored buttons, and I just thought that was cool, I guess. And of course, you know, with Ninja Gaiden 2 coming out, like, that game also looked great as well. But yeah, for those that are wondering, I was at the time a PlayStation fanboy because I had friends that were Xbox fanboys. And I mean, you know, saying that they're the only ones that shit on the other console is kind of not technically true, because I mean, like, they did shit on my console, you know, but I also shit on theirs too, so it was kind of like a back and forth kind of thing. Most of my friends had an Xbox, except for like a few of them, which I know they always say like, oh, go for the console that your friends have, but I don't know, I didn't really feel like we were like the bestest of friends with that type of stuff to really, you know, hang out and game on. It would have been neat, but I probably would have gotten pretty bored pretty quick if I played multiplayer that much back then. I was more of a multiplayer guy back when I was young, but not anymore. And I feel like if I did play that much multiplayer back then, I probably would have just not cared as much. Because I probably would have been, you know, dopamined out, basically. Either way, I'm here now. I did at one point have an Xbox One, but I had new buddies that played on it, and I just... yeah, I got rid of the Xbox. Because, I don't know. I'm weird like that. Plus, it felt weird to have an Xbox. I don't know. It was something different. And plus, I have that brain problem of like, oh, I have too many games, or I have too many consoles, and I only have like just so many consoles. But it just feels like I have more than I do. I have plenty of room for stuff, but yeah. Inside the elevator, you can just charge up here if you want. You can run behind that little wall. Any way to give yourself any sort of cover is always kind of nice. But yeah, the reason why I'm not really explaining a lot of this crap is because it's mostly just relatively simple stuff. These guys are just nothing. If you have that much trouble with them, I mean, the best advice is just Flying Swallow. And, you know, just keep Flying Swallow and just get some nice attacks in, block, and then run away. You know, that kind of stuff. Go for D-limbs. It's the same thing. It's the same song and dance every time. It's not like it's going to change. They're basically just a different type of brand. That's about it. Nothing special. Of course, you got to watch out for newer moves, but hey, you know. So yeah, we get Ghostfish to spawn. I get fudged up by Ghostfish. And the Gorian Flail. I knew that there were fish there. I just had the reaction of a fucking sloth, I guess. I don't know what I was thinking. But whew, yeah, boy. Yeah, coming in here, open the door, you spawn these guys. Charge up if you want. Now, do be careful, though, because these guys are kind of assholes about charge. They're the kind that actually do tend to stay back a little bit more often and shoot you. They do have times where they actually run in and try to go for you, but for the most part, yeah, just make sure they're running toward you and you're just charging. And that's, what, like one rocket guy in here at all? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, I think there's like an actual item in one of these little chamber things, which these things remind me of Ninja Gaiden 3 when you're in that scientist's lab. This reminds me of those. Grab some currency, save your game, switch your weapon, you know, go back to what you feel comfortable with. Whatever the case. Of course, as always, I go back to the Dragon Sword. Goodness me, can you imagine doing an entire run of just Dragon Sword only? Actually, what's funny is like the way I play, like I only ever switch weapons when I'm either getting bored of playing Dragon Sword or I'm just, you know, using it on a boss fight. But yes, I have seen those videos of Dragon Sword only, and it's like I can see it being kind of harder because certain boss fights, you know, will actually require a little bit more patience and a little bit more. Ooh, my chair. It was quite squeaky. I'm sorry, but yeah, it requires a little bit more finesse, I guess. You can call it finesse. Yeah, nobody's down here. I don't know what I was doing. I was just kind of worried. I kept hearing noises. I was like, oh man, there might be somebody down here. So yeah, upon coming out here, once you open this door, you're going to get bombarded by shots. Not that it's a big deal. If you actually run back far enough, you can eventually get your health back. It's not a big deal, like I said. There's only like 3 of them anyway, so nothing special. I'm only equipping the Lunar Staff now because I'm kind of dumb and I forgot exactly where we're at. We're actually on the other wing of the planet. I think we're on the right side wing, I think it is. That's right, boys. We're on the Ben Shapiro wing. Coming in here, there's actually a Devil Mushroom to the left that you can get on that body. But what I recommend doing is there's 2 rocket guys at the very end of this corner. And this is one of the few times where I would actually just say, use Piercing Void and just blast their ass. So, usually I don't like using Nimpo on like the most basic of enemies, especially rocket guys, but they're so devastating. I've tried going through here as much as I possibly can, and it's just kind of difficult. But yeah, I actually think I got lucky where they actually dropped a Nimpo for me. But yeah, there's 2 at the end of that, you know, doorway there, and then of course 2 more rocket guys spawn. But if you get close to them, they're not going to use rockets anymore. They're just going to go for basic melee attacks. And they die relatively fast and easy enough. Also, that's another thing I want to explain real quick is you'll see me sometimes just accidentally do the windmill attack while in air. And the reason for that is I'm trying to do Flying Swallow because this game does, for a Eclipse Scythe, have a swallow attack. Like, it's not exactly a Flying Swallow per se, but it's close to. Hell, you can even Endless Fang Flying Swallow, if anybody didn't know that. When you're running on a wall, and you actually have Endless Fang equipped, of course, you can actually run off that wall and press square or triangle on the wall while you're running, and you'll do a sort of Flying Swallow technique. It's pretty cool. But yeah, there it is right there, the Flying Swallow thing. It's different depending on the weapon, of course. Like, Dragon Sword is just a straight cut, and other weapons are just something different. Like, Vigorian Flail, I think, just goes straight into another combo, which, that's the key trick about Vigorian Flail, though, is, like, if you're going to be using that, then you could just, you know, do a lot of, like, very different combo-heavy stuff to kind of keep enemies stun-locked. I'm not a big fan of Vigorian Flail because it doesn't kill quick enough, and I'm not really here for the combo specifically. I'm just here to get the kill. Kusari Gamma is also a really cool weapon as well, but it's pretty much just like the flail in that same way. Also, I have seen, and I do know about it, the Tonfas being very devastating, especially to Elizabeth. And if you want to upgrade your Tompas and go for that, I think it's like forward triangle attack. It's like a little like it's hard to describe, but you push forward with it. It's yeah. I'd say look it up if you're interested in fighting Elizabeth, because there's a couple of good cheeses that you can do to her, where essentially yeah, you know, use the Tompas on. Also, if you hear that noise outside, that's just, I think, the garbage people. They found out that, you know, they found out what I was doing and how bad and garbage of a guide this was, so I guess they're here to take out the trash, huh? Yeah, at this point, I couldn't figure out what the hell I was going to upgrade, so I just gave up and went with a Katari. I don't even really use it this entire guide, though, but hey, you know, it is what it is. So there is a save checkpoint back there. You saw me getting devastated right there. Luckily for me, though, is I do have... I think I actually buy a talisman, actually. No, maybe I don't. If you don't have a talisman by now, get one. If you don't have a talisman, you can't afford one, that's fine. Because I'll be showing you what to do if you probably don't have one. Instantly equip the Lunar Staff. Run over here, you know, destroy these machine guns. Run up here. And then, you know, save your game, just like you normally would. And the reason why we need Lunar Staff equipped is because of Genshin. Try not to use too many items in this fight. Just, you know, go for the Lunar Drop. And there you go. That's the entire thing. Even when he's doing that spin attack on the ground, just go for it. Even if you miss it, who cares? Just do it. Because more often than not, you'll probably either A, land it, or B, get a couple of hits in. Like, he does take a little bit of time to get Lunar dropped again, but as long as you're at least hitting him, like I said, then you should be fine. Nimpo barely even works on him, but if you want to use Nimpo to be safe, then go for it. That attack right there is something you want to try to like bait out as well, because it's a nice, easy charged attack. You can even block it too, which is nice. I think you do take chip from it, but still. That attack, that spin attack, is also great because, you know, it's a good attack to lead right into another Lunar. Essentially with Genshin, it's all about learning his pattern, like knowing what combos he's going to do, and then waiting for the follow-up after he finishes the combos. Now, once he's finished off, you have to fight your second boss. I know, we're tired, I get it. But this guy is a complete asshole. So I use a clip sight, so that way I can get some ranged UT shots on him. You can attack the tail or the head. Piercing Void works wonders on this. Whenever he's flailing around like that with those rocks, go for the head. Don't stay there too long because he can actually grab you and kill you. Because of course. And be careful of him stomping around because he can also, you know, still attack you that way as well. Of course, again, I mean, if things go wrong, just go for the tail. You want to try to stay away from the head unless he's doing that special fireball attack, because well, for one, the fireball attack is random as hell. Like it goes wherever the hell it wants. It's hardly predictable, but as long as he's doing the fireball attack, if you attack him in the head, then he probably won't do anything. But this is phase 2. Once he gets just a little bit closer to his half health mark, he's gonna launch phase 2. But you see that? You saw that mouth thing right there they did? But yeah, that right there. That's the grab. I got lucky a couple of times, like twice, but for the most part, yeah. Make sure you save up your items, at least for this fight. Try not to use items on Genshin himself, but instead just use it on this fight because, well, you know, this guy's an asshole. So the better off we use these items on him, the better off we'll be. Go for Piercing Void. Always try to aim for the head for this one too. And then once you knock him down to a certain amount of health, you just run up there, press triangle, he's dead. And that's it for this chapter, and I'll see you guys, I think, in like chapter 10. I think it is. So, as always, take care, everybody.